1-0 game. It is Cal Raleigh. High drive right field. Cal Raleigh has connected and tied the game in the sixth. It's the big dumper when the Mariners need him most.
Welcome back to the Central Indiana Sports Report. Baseball fans, back with another MLB postseason report. A day late. Yesterday we had some family obligations, so we are here a day late. A day late because we're going to make picks for our LCS, and game one of the ALCS has already happened. So I made my co-host, Paul Tipton, and our guest, Michelle Garmon, pinky square that they would keep their prediction no matter what happened tonight. And so we're going to do ALCS and NLCS predictions here a little later. But we're going to start with the Seattle Mariners up 1-0 in the ALCS, Paul.
Baseball is a humbling game, not just for the players, but for the fans who think they know what's going to happen. After a 15
and people
inning,
like us.
Yes. After a 15-inning game the other night and all the advantages of an exhausted pitching staff going all the way across country to Toronto to a rested bunch of bashers who are just ready for the next pitching victim, the Mariners start a guy who has a losing record this year, an earned run average closer to 6 than to 5. He throws one pitch and gives up a home run, and then walks the next two guys, and it looks like the massacre is on, and he gives up nothing after that.
The Mariners dugout saying, hey, should we get somebody up in the first inning?
What's even more masterful, he was doing this on 3 days rest. First time he's ever pitched on 3 days rest. And but I don't know, maybe that was the key. I don't know about you, Paul, but I thought in that first inning, when after that happened, I was really impressed because he didn't look. If he was rattled inside, he did not show it on the outside.
And he threw 26 pitches in the first inning. So they were talking about they needed him to go 5 innings, and it wasn't going to happen. There was just no way. And then by the end of the 5th inning, he's only thrown 65 pitches.
This is why baseball is the greatest sport ever invented.
I cannot agree more. We have yesterday the Cubs and the Brewers. All the runs are scored on solo home runs. We have 2 solo home runs today, so it looks like the same repeat. And then the Blue Jays made their fatal mistake. They walked a guy, and then he scored. And then they walked another guy, and that guy scored. The Mariners are not exhausted, and they're serving notice that this could be a very interesting series.
Toronto ended up with just 2 hits for the games. To me, that's what's amazing because they're such a high octane offense, and to only have just 2 hits is really a remarkable job, not only by Miller who started, but the next 3 guys who came in and shut down Toronto too. So it was great job by the Mariners pitching staff.
Yeah, even Spire looked good tonight, and he didn't look like he could do anything against Detroit the other day. One last comment about the Yankees before we drop that forever. The Yankees must be feeling really, really bad about themselves because they couldn't get anybody on the Blue Jays out. Here comes the Mariners' exhausted staff, and just like you said, Michelle, the opening home run, and then one more single after that. The whole game. Amazing.
Does this allow the Mariners to wait until Wednesday to pitch Castillo?
It's a great question. I'm not sure I can predict anybody's pitching moves more. After the Brewers threw their closer for 1 inning to open the game yesterday, I have quit trying to figure out. Gossman looked great, and then he gave up a home run, and I thought he got yanked a little early myself. So, in addition to asking who's going to start pitching for these guys. I just want to know when the next 7-6 game is going to happen.
Monday.
These have been some very low-scoring games lately.
Sometimes that happens. You get into the postseason and I don't know exactly what it is. I don't know if it's because guys tighten up, weather changes a little bit. It's hard to tell.
Paul, I'll tell you when the runs are going to come.
Okay.
In the NLCS, and mostly from one team.
Oh, so you're tipping your hand on your prediction already.
I am. Dodgers in 4.
Oh, the Dodgers have not beaten the Brewers all year.
Okay, let me repeat this. Dodgers in 4.
The Dodgers and the Brewers, it's going to be an interesting series. I think the Blue Jays coming into this and that their bats have been really hot and really good for the first 2 rounds. Can they keep it up? I think they can. You got guys like Ohtani. He was great against the Reds. He wasn't so good in the last series, but you got Freddie Freeman, who knows how to be clutch. The Dodgers have some pitching. I think the Dodgers will beat the Brewers.
The best lineup money can buy.
Yeah, and I do think the Dodgers will win that series. I'll save my prediction for how many games because it'll allow me to think through the rest of our podcast here till I have to make them to flip the coin mentally in my mind. I just think the Dodgers are stronger in offensively. They've got experienced pitching. I'll give them a slight edge in the pitching, and I'll give them the edge in managing because Roberts has been to the World Series. Yes, he's lost them, but he's also won some. So I just think the Dodgers get the check marks in most of the categories.
Anybody with half a brain who saw the Dodgers squeak by the Reds, and also beat the Phillies should be picking the Dodgers.
Throw on top of that the Brewers' history of brewing all over the place.
I think this is going to be a different year. You're trying to force me to go out there and pick the Brewers.
They almost lost to the Cubs, Paul.
They
tried to give away a series to the Cubs.
They're
not elite.
It would depend on Peralta pitching a lot better, and Priester, who would be happy to be not facing the Cubs. Maybe he could string some innings together. It would take a lot for the Brewers to win that thing, but I think they'll do better than you think they will.
There's not a pitcher on the planet who would rather face the Cubs than the Dodgers.
Paul, so what area is there? An area you think Milwaukee is better than the Dodgers in?
They won't strike out as much. They'll put the ball in play, and
1 through 9.
They can manufacture some runs up and down. You never know who's going to get who's going to make contact. And
dependable batters 1 through 9 is definitely their strength offensively. Yelich is a big name. Nobody who strikes fear into your heart, but 1 through 9, you're going to have to battle a bunch of guys.
That's correct. And the Dodger pitching strategy is going to be challenged. I think there are some weaknesses in that Dodger bullpen. Not sure. They're disguising them by throwing starters out there and doing all kinds of things. But if the Brewers can keep it close, they can stretch the Dodger bullpen. I think.
I don't think there's anything I'd rather see less than the Brewers in the World Series.
Wait a minute. You would rather see the Dodgers go back to the World Series?
Oh, yeah. There are things admirable about the Dodgers franchise. What's there about the Brewers franchise that's any good except for Bob Uecker?
Bob Uecker. This is the Memorial Bob Uecker Tour.
And still, he's not as good as Vince Scully, so... Our picks competition through 2 rounds. I put Uncle Paul and Michelle and Mike Hutzel up against the rest of our contributors to the Central Indiana Sports Report and some local media. And Daniel Bragg of Bragg Sports Media picked all 4 series right in the divisional round and takes the lead with 32 points. He scored 18 this round, the most of anybody. Grant Schaus of the Action Sports Network, our IU guy, and Jay Stevens of the Kokomo Post are tied for second with 28. And then Michelle Garmon, the Tipton Tribune and Elwood Call leader, and Sam Frick of ANEC Sports and our Colts guy both have 27 points. Sam got 3 of the 4 series right in the divisional round, as did Jake Dunn, our Purdue guy, who has 26. Cade Hampton of the Muncie Star Press went from tied for first place to 8th place by only getting 1 of the series right. He had the Dodgers in 5. He has 25 points. Our fight guy, Hanson Crafton, 24. Kevin Helfrich, 23. Paul Tipton and Mike Hutzel both have 22. Dave Chanley, our IndyCar guy, 19. Your host, Greg Mengelt, is in first place in his mind. Will Rutherford of Strictly Biased with Will Rutherford, 15. And Jeremy Giggy of White River Communications has 14. And we will have all the picks everybody made on our next baseball report. So let's get to our predictions, guys. We might as well just start with the Dodgers. I've already said sweep. I think we're all leaning toward the Dodgers. Michelle?
I am. I'm leaning towards the Dodgers, and I was thinking between 5 or 6. I'm going to say the Dodgers in 6.
Well, I'm going to make it interesting then. You guys are pushing me. Brewers in 7. I know. I don't even think I'll take that much heat when I'm wrong, because I would like to pull an upset and pick one of these right, but I'll be pulling with my heart, Greg, because I think America disagrees with you. We'd much rather see the Brewers go back to the World Series for the second time and their first time representing the National League than to see the Dodgers repeat.
Oh, Paul, I'll agree with you. I think a great World Series would be the
America
Mariners and the Brewers. I think that would be a great World Series.
It would be. It would be.
Well, then you guys are wrong, and that's okay. You're allowed to be wrong. Most of the world is usually wrong. That's usually the way things work.
Well, maybe this is the time where you make a statement. If the Brewers beat the Dodgers in the NLCS this year, then you would
cheer for the American League.
Hey, Greg, wait a minute. You said you're rarely wrong.
Although Canada's almost as bad as Wisconsin.
Yeah. Hey, Greg, you said you were mostly right. Where are you in our baseball prediction standings?
So we move to the American League.
No answer.
And Michelle, who's in 4th place, who's going to win the Blue Jays Mariners series?
I'm going with the Mariners. I was going with the Mariners anyway. That's who I want to win. I'm rooting for them. So I'm going to pick them because outside the Reds in this playoffs, it's the only other team I've really wanted to win. And because of that, I don't like picking against the team I want to win because I feel like I can't root for that team. I'm picking the Mariners. Long series, but I think this one could be Mariners in 7. Like you, Greg, I don't really want to. The Blue Jays have got a great offense, but I really do not want to see a Canadian team get into the World Series. Baseball is an American game. It's America's pastime. It's not Canadian. Canadians can keep their hockey.
Plus, Canada sucks.
Yes. So, Mariners in 7.
Everybody knows that, Paul. Canada's the worst.
I disagree completely.
They're by far our worst neighbor.
Disagree. I'm going to go with the Blue Jays in 6. I think the Mariners strike out too much. They impressed me on the base pass tonight, but I think maybe there'll be some walks to Cal Raleigh,
he crushed one, man.
Didn't he though?
Oh,
just when the Blue Jays thought that he would have the same game that Vlad Guerrero had tonight, where he was just going to either strike out or ground out. So. The Mariners pitching is going to be tested if they pitch like they did against the Tigers. The Blue Jays are in for a long haul, but can't see all those Blue Jay batters going into a slump, even though they only got 2 hits tonight.
I think you've been on the Blue Jays since June or July, somewhere around there, thinking.
June 30th, and then on Canada Day. Oh, Canada. Yes, that lovely July 1st. I see you and Michelle are not really celebrating Canada Day, so.
They do have a lovely anthem.
Canada is a wonderful country with wonderful people.
I asked you to be honest, and I'm going to be honest with my pick. I picked Mariners in 7. I feel a lot better about that pick right now, and I probably would say 6 right now. But coming into the night, I had Mariners in 7. I'm going to say Mariners in 7. I really hope the Mariners win this whole thing because the other 3 teams turn my stomach. I would have rather had the Cubs than any of those 3 teams.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Ugh. Final thoughts? We'll start with Michelle.
I think we've experienced a great weekend of baseball, starting with the 15-inning thriller. Now, granted, the game could have been ended earlier by either team, but it's still exciting, going 15 innings, 1-run game. Then you have the Brewers and the Cubs, a low-scoring, a good game yesterday, and then tonight to open up the series. What a masterful performance by the Mariners. Like Paul said, you go 15 innings, you have to fly all the way across the country. What a great tonight's game. Capped off a great weekend of baseball. So looking forward to the rest of the playoff.
Well, as the predictions show, almost anything can happen, and we've seen some very surprising storylines. I'm about ready with all these pitching gems to see slugfest, and that would be good just for variety's sake. And hope when one team breaks out with a bunch of runs, the other team can hang with them for drama's sake. Hate to see any blowouts. Now, it's been very surprising, entertaining, and I obviously used to know a lot about baseball, but maybe not this year.
My final thought is go Mariners. We'll be back throughout the postseason to continue to talk about Major League Baseball. Probably Monday night, at the very latest Tuesday. Please join us again. The Central Indiana Sports Report is a product of ITG Media, and I love Susie.